This is the Jerusalem Post podcast travel edition. Coming up,
the hibiscus flower stuffed with cream cheese. As Theodor Herzl once said, one bite that will change your life.
It's poppy seed, fresh-book, and chocolate crunch, the babka, which is the best seller. Everybody buy the babka, but smart people buy the poppy seed.
I was looking for a job where I can just drink for free and make money out of it. No kidding.
I was 14 and I started to work here every day. And as they say, if you want hummus, come and get it.
So sit back and enjoy the trip with David Harris and Mark Gordon. Good afternoon, David.
Good afternoon, Mark. It's been a while since we've done something like this.
Yeah, I haven't picked up the mic for a couple of months.
Because what we've been doing of late, in case you hadn't noticed, is doing quite a few, like a series about Budapest or Vienna or Slovakia or China. And so the amount of times that we're actually together are getting fewer and fewer.
I know, and with the odd war here and there, we have to take the opportunity of ceasefire and peace while we can. We've not travelled very far, though, this time.
Well, especially you, given that, well, you just got a bus from down the road or up the road.
Yes, although it did take 40 minutes, it was probably quicker to fly to Europe.
I live in Modi'in, which is 15, well, Mark also lives in Modi'in, but it's about 15 minutes away from the airport. Get on a train and you're in Tel Aviv from my home within 25 minutes. And then it was a little bus ride, little walk, and we're in, well, where are we?
We're in Tel Aviv. We are taking the opportunity of peace and quiet, and by the time you listen to this, all the wars will be over and everything will be pucker and people will be flying en masse to Israel again. We are going to spend today visiting two sites of Tel Aviv, two food tours of Tel Aviv.
Later on, we will be going to a slightly different part of town, but not too far away, and getting drunk. But before that, we're introducing a very special guest as we talk food in, well, it's called Levinsky Market, but I'm still trying to find the market. I'm sure our guest will tell us why in a few minutes.
Like Carmel Market, like Machane Yehuda, a market isn't just food stalls anymore. There's a whole lot more to it. Restaurants, cafes, bars, spice shops, you name it.
That's enough of us. We should get on with the podcast. But before we do, we've got to have a little message, a little ad. And before that, Mark has a quiz question.
Yes, a very niche quiz question, and if you get this off the top of your head, you are welcome to come and present the podcast in the future. We're in Levinsky Market. Levinsky was a famous Zionist. Back in the days when he lived in Odessa, he founded a Yiddish daily publication. What was that called?
The answer at the end of the pod. Hi, this is David Harris from the Jerusalem Post podcast Travel Edition. Find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at MarkDavidPod or mail us at markdavidpod@gmail.com. Welcome back. I'm David Harris.
And I'm Mark Gordon.
And this is the Jerusalem Post podcast Travel Edition. I promised you before the break we would have a special guest. He's not only going to be our guest, he's going to be our guru, our leader, our educator over the next few minutes. So who are you, sir?
I'm Harry Rubenstein, culinary expert, food historian, and eater.
That's great, because I don't have to look everything up on Wikipedia and make it up as we go along. We have a proper expert.
When we reached out to you, you said it has to be Levinsky Market. Why?
Levinsky Market is my favorite market in all of Israel because, number one, it hasn't been over-commercialized. It hasn't been overwhelmed with everybody trying to make a quick buck. There's an authenticity to it that I think is dwindling away in a lot of the other markets in Israel. And here you have a nice mix of old and new, and the new respects the old.
Where would you find Levinsky Market?
Levinsky Market is located in South Tel Aviv in the neighborhood of Florentine.
Just give us a little bit of the history of this neighborhood before we start wandering around.
We have to go back to the Jewish community of Saloniki, Greece. Saloniki was the only city in Europe to ever have a Jewish majority. The Jews were so important and so integral to the economy of the city that they wouldn't even bother opening up the ports on Jewish holidays or on Shabbat. In 1917, there was a great fire in Saloniki, and the fire was actually caused by somebody frying eggplant in their backyard. It landed on some dry brush, and it burnt down 60% of the city, destroyed the Jewish quarter. and caused a very rampant increase in anti-Semitism. Now, the Jewish community in Salonika were already looking towards Zion, towards Eretz Yisrael, and they were looking to invest in land to build a community here. And they established an organization called the Salonika Palestine Foundation, which was a foundation to raise money to buy land in Israel. And the land that we're standing on right now is the land that they bought.
If you want to listen back, you can listen to David and I in Saloniki.
The neighborhood that we're in right now is Florentine. And if we were in a drone or in a hot air balloon and looking down, or even if we looked at a map, we would see that Levinsky Market is the shamash, the main candle of the menorah, of the Chanukiah, and then all the other streets are off of the arms of the Chanukiah. The architecture in this area was built in a very specific way. If you look around, you see there's light industry on the bottom and then housing on top. The initial idea was you would have your small business on the bottom and then live above. And you had that with a lot of people here for many, many years. Majority of the industry here was light industry. So you had carpenters, you had fabric cutters, belt makers, leather cutters, and things of that nature. Light industry. And what happens? Technology evolves. And with the evolution of technology, there was no longer a need for 25 fabric cutters because you can do it with one machine. So a lot of these businesses closed, and suddenly you had this massive amount of space here.
In my other day job, I spend a lot of time going around Tel Aviv and looking for property, and Neve Tzedek is always seen as the jewel of Tel Aviv, but it was also quite a downtrodden area initially, Keramat Teimanim. Florentine is always the one where people say it still has a bit of that authenticity. It's still a bit grubby and downtrodden, but lovable. How did it evolve after the businesses closed?
The big evolution happened in the 1990s, was the big tipping point. What happened was there was a television show called Florentine, and this show was about young artists and actors and musicians who, because of the cheap rent and the ample rehearsal space in these closed stores, came to live in this area. And it was about their social goings and their drama. And this was like a call to action for all young, cool, hip people to come move to Florentine. And that was really the big part of the revival of Florentine as a neighborhood.
Shall we go and have a look around?
Yeah, let's do it.
The Jerusalem Post Podcast Travel Edition.
We've only sampled a little part of the ship. We haven't been to the kids' club. We haven't been to the gym.
A little chutzpah, a lot of curiosity. The Jerusalem Post Podcast Travel Edition. I thought this was going to be like a real hike. I remember when we did a food tour of Bnei Barak, we managed about half a mile in 3 hours. We've managed so far here about 15 yards.
Baby steps. Often people here say the same thing as you, and I just walk really, really, really slow. Turn them around a couple of times to make them think that we've actually gone further than we've really gone.
You should go with moonwalking and then you can go backwards.
Next time for sure. Very timely reference too. We are at Yom Tov Deli, Ma'adanyat Yom Tov. And what is the root of the word for deli, the Hebrew word Ma'adanyat?
Is it something like Gan Eden?
It is Gan Eden, exactly. Eden, Gan Eden, paradise, because this is, after all, a garden of Eden and also a garden of Eden.
Oh dear, oh dear.
You're listening to the last ever episode of the Jerusalem Post podcast.
He told us before he does stand-up.
Cannot do any of my material on your podcast. You'll have to come see me live for that.
Now you're holding something.
What I'm holding, two things. We have a dried hibiscus that was rehydrated in olive oil and white wine vinegar, stuffed with cream cheese. And we have a majul date stuffed with kaimak. And kaimak is the fat of the milk. I believe it's 60% fat. It's never eaten by itself. It's only eaten with something else you need it to really cut the sweetness.
Sometimes I wish this was video because you should see Mark's face when Harry said 60% fat. It was this look of horror. I wonder if your doctor's listening.
Often people tell me also when they bite the hibiscus that it's one of the greatest things they've ever eaten in their lives.
Let's do the taste test first, and then while we're munching, you can tell us about the ma'adania, the delicatessen.
So this is going to be a trial for me because one of my pet hates is dates with 60% fat in there. I mean, a good cheese in Israel is like 25-30%. Milk is 3%, so just bear that in mind. And the other one is I don't tend to eat flowers, so let's see how this goes.
Catherine, as in Mark's wife, are you listening to this? He doesn't do dates and he doesn't do flowers.
I'm going to try the hibiscus.
That is incredible. It looks like a flower.
Should I take one big bite, swallow it whole, or just savor it?
Put the whole thing in your mouth.
Oh. If you've ever listened to us on food tours before, it's that sound that I normally go,
And
Oh, it's really good. It's like slightly pickled, the hibiscus. And then it's like when you have a cream cheese and pickle bagel, but without the bagel.
barbarian. My turn.
How is that, David?
It's actually really, really, really good. The pickling is just the right amount. Sometimes I find, particularly in Israel, you get over vinegared. And this is just right. It's very delicate.
It's like a sweet pickle. It's very lovely.
Okay, on to the heart attack in a date.
Well, you remember the bit where he said, like, maybe take a bite? You've just shoved that whole thing in your mouth.
This is why you're normally the one who does the taste test and I'm the one who holds the microphone. Warning, if you eat this with your fingers, you will get quite a bit of grease, fat on your fingers. So here we go. Champion, as we say in Manchester. While Mark's trying it, let's hear from Harry a little bit about the Yom Tov delicatessen, or Ma'adaniyat Yom Tov.
So the Yom Tov Deli opened in 1947 in Istanbul, across the street from one of the largest synagogues in Istanbul. They moved here in 1969 and opened in the same exact spot and have been here ever since. Now, what makes this deli different than other delis? It's a Turkish deli. They have a ton of mez, things like you just tasted, which are completely unique, you can't get anywhere else. And other interesting things that you'll see here that you won't see elsewhere, such as sucuk, which is Turkish salami. Pastruma, which is not pastrami, but pastruma, it's like a beef jerky, a lot of fenugreek, paprika, chili, it's a dried meat. Dolce blanco, which is almost like a fondant, which Jews from Turkey would put on their matzah. You won't find it anywhere else but here. And also something very special they sell here is their family's original recipe for eggplant jam, which apparently has been in the family since the family was expelled from Spain in 1492.
Hello, welcome to Yom Tov Deli. My name is Eitan Levy, and I'm here for 23 years.
But this is a story of your grandfather, right?
Yeah, he started the store, and I'm third generation.
Were you always going to come and work here? Was there ever any other destiny for you, or this was always going to be the future?
Yes, it was written for me. I was 14 and I started to work here every day. And even before, I came on vacations to help my parents. And as they say, if you want hummus, come and get it.
There's an amazing photograph of an elderly gentleman in the background.
Yes, my father passed away. He was everything for me. He was my wisdom, he was my everything, really. I loved him so much, and we were very broke when he died.
Now, while we're talking, I just noticed lots and lots and lots of sharp knives. I'll stay away from there. But while we're talking, there's a very small lady near the window at the front, and she is very busy working and serving people. Who's she?
She's my mother, the Kala from Istanbul, the bride from Istanbul. My father met my mother. He is a client. I'm half a client, half an owner.
Is there a theme to the deli? Is it a particular type of cuisine that you're trying to bring to people?
It started as a Turkish cuisine, but now you can see everything here. Also, still the Turkish cuisine, but you can see Italian, Spanish, French, English, everything. And also Israeli, of course.
When you go home and you're making your own dinner, what type of food do you like to eat?
Oh, wow. I'm eating a lot, first of all. I'm eating at my house a lot, and in my store I'm not eating so much because I'm coming to work, I love meat, I love pasta, I love just board of cheese and enjoying with wine. Everything is a celebrate in our house.
If you had to recommend one thing in this deli for people coming in to buy, what would it be?
It's very hard to say because everything is like my children, Children's, you can't say one is better and stuff.
We all have a favorite child.
I'm going to answer that question. I think everybody coming here should have the hibiscus flower stuffed with cream cheese. As Theodore Herzl once said, one bite that will change your life.
He does the voice. So we already tasted the hibiscus. We already tasted the date with the heart attack inside. Yes.
Heart attack. It's a kaimak. When you boil the milk, there is a layer on top of it. From that layer, we make the cheese.
One more thing that you would recommend somebody to taste if they come into the store.
All our things that we are making by ourselves, it's a must taste. We have handmade marzipan, handmade jams, handmade sardines in the season, the meat, of course, and the salads. Just one, I can't. מה, אחי, אני לא יודע.
If you're British and listening to this, I just noticed, and forgive me because it's not something that you made, there is Branston piccalilli on the shelf.
You have Marmite, you have the Branston piccalilli.
We turned off the microphone and I'm turning it back on because Eitan mentioned something else which Brits always find very funny, and normally we giggle at Americans for their pronunciation of it. But Eitan, what have you got up there next to the pickle?
It's a Worcester sauce.
It's what?
Worcester sauce.
Let's get Harry to pronounce it.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Almost. Eitan, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back.
The Jerusalem Post Podcast Travel Edition.
White sausage, which we eat for breakfast, with a weiss beer and a sweet mustard and pretzel.
If your test looks like that, you are in a lot of trouble.
The toilet is open to the public for viewing only.
From Jerusalem to just about everywhere, the Jerusalem Post Podcast Travel Edition. Harry has taken us down a side road called Machavia Street, and halfway down the side road there's a sign saying, "Don't go past, dangerous building." Apparently there was a structural issue with the building and part of it collapsed, but thankfully it's a little bit further than our next destination, which is called Lupo.
I am super excited about this. In a minute, we're going to meet Lupo's owner, who's going to tell us about the spread in front of us. But I don't know if you can say it for food or you only say it for drink. But there's a Yiddish word which is chalashing.
And you can definitely chalish for food. I walked into Lupo and it transported me back to my childhood in East London. There was a deli near us called Brower's. It was like a flashback. You've got the fish, the chrayne, the cheeses, the salads, and the smell. It's beautiful. If you love Ashkenazi food, we went to a beautiful Turkish deli. But this, for me, reminds me of my roots.
I'm also reminded, I know you moved to Manchester and you remember a shop called Haber's, but you remember it in its third incarnation and maybe its second incarnation. Its first incarnation was an old man. Old Man Haber, everybody called him. And he would sit outside his shop. Inside his shop, he had like three things, nothing else. And he sat, legs splayed, with a barrel between his legs. And he would dip his hands in, and his hands had turned the colour of brine over the years. And he'd dip his hands in and pull out a herring with his fingers and drop it in the bag and hand it over to you. And those are my memories. Now, today, of course, we're much more hygienic than this. And we want to introduce you to the person who's prepared this veritable feast for us.
Nice to meet you. My name is Roy. I'm third generation in our family deli store. We're here from 1976 in this location. First store in 1955 in my grandfather's backyard in Petah Tikva, which was the first colony in Israel, by the way. We're selling smoked fish and herring in the last 50 plus years. This is the main thing here. We're doing a lot of salads from herring in very traditional way, like my grandmother and my grandfather used to make. That's the secret. We try to make new things from the old things, but to keep the family name first of all for people that know and understand what is herring.
If you do something good, there's no point changing it. Just keep doing it well. That's what I hope this is, and I'm sure it will be.
Where is your family from? You talked about your grandparents. Where did they come from? Presumably before Petah Tikva, they came from somewhere in Europe, given this type of food.
It's a mix. My grandmother came from Poland, and my grandfather came from Romania. They met here in Israel in 1949, after the war. They tried to do something different from what their parents used to make, which was meat from both sides. It's funny, but they started to work in a small factory for herring in Bnei Brak, and that's how they started their business.
Tell us about some of the foods that are on the table in front of us.
There's the herring that, as I mentioned, which is the most important thing. For example, there's a tuna in a roast beef style, which is something new that I asked for from the company that smoked fish for us many times. I asked, do something different, do something new. So we took a red tuna and make a roast beef from it. It's different, it's really good.
Let's stop there. You go for it. I'm a veggie, so I don't actually eat such things. So we're going to hand over. Oh, he's using his fingers. Harry gave him a spoon, but Mark's going with his fingers.
Yeah, I won't offend you by doing this because you're not going to have any.
That is crispier as it went into your mouth than I was expecting. I thought it'd be soft.
It reminds me of salt beef a bit. It's salted and it's supposed to be like roast beef, but it's really lovely. You can still feel it's tuna, but the taste is remarkable.
And it melts in your mouth the more you eat it. It just starts coming apart. It's delicious. Good mouth feel, as they say.
By the end of this tour, I'm going to break with more than 50 years of vegetarianism. I can feel it coming.
The artichoke, we receive it from Italy in barrels with salty water, and it's really, really good product that we smash it here in the Magimix and I'm doing simple salad from it. The horseradish, that is something that my grandmother used to make. And there's the jalapeno salad, and next to it is the confit garlic, the mushrooms with onion, simple local cheese from a local dairy.
That's a cream cheese with chives.
Green onion, and a local cheese from a dairy that's called Alto. It's from a goat, 6 months in the fridge. It's really, really good. It's not something you need to taste it. It's not something that I can I can explain too much.
David, you go for the cheese because you haven't taken of the fish, and feel sorry for that goat that's been in a fridge for 6 months.
Oh, we are on hold because Ro'i has gone to get some crackers. I'm fascinated by. Mark's going for it. Mark's going for the chrayne, the horseradish.
Oh, it's a winner. It's strong, really strong. Oh.
So this Passover, at the end of Pesach, my wife decided she wanted grated horseradish for during the year that we're going to freeze. So we found the last piece of chrayne, of horseradish, in all of Modi'in, and I was the one who had to grate it. I cried like a baby. Here come the crackers, and I'm going to try the artichoke, which has been mushed down. Ooh! How much garlic?
Israeli garlic, by the way, because on Passover it's the time of the local garlic. As much as need. I smash, I taste, and only after it I know if it's ready or not. I suggest you mix the artichoke with the horseradish. Something really, really good.
I think we're going to be mixing our germs, but this is going to be fun. Double dipping is happening, Harry, I'm afraid. It makes a really pretty colour as well, because you've got a little bit of the red now in the artichoke. Do you remember having, when you were a kid, and you used to sneak alcohol in synagogue, having advocaat with a bit of cherry brandy in?
I used to get that at bar mitzvahs. Cherry brandy and then a bit of lemonade on top because I couldn't have it all in one go.
Right, and you stir it around and it made that really pretty colour. Oh my goodness me. That is amazing. What a fabulous idea.
This horseradish, I'll buy it and keep it in the front of my fridge and keep a spoon in the fridge with it, and I'll just open up my fridge and take a spoonful of it and eat it. If I'm hungry, also if I need to clear my sinuses.
This business was started a couple of generations ago. How old are your kids?
12, 9 and 6. They're coming here on holidays. They want to organize all the cans and the jams and whatever they can do. It's funny, they only agree to taste the tuna, not more than that. I don't know if they will work in this business. If it depends on my wife, it won't happen. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Did you always work in this business, or were you pulled back in?
I worked as an engineer in Cellcom, which was the biggest company cellular in Israel. I understood it's not for me. My grandfather passed away, and I need to choose if I'm coming back to the store and continue it, or let my father continue here until he will say enough, it's enough, and decide to come back different times.
I've just had one of the mushrooms. Really, really stunning flavour.
This always happens. I end up carrying on the interview, asking the questions, and you polish off all the food.
I can take the microphone and ask another question if you want to go. But you don't want the herring, so I'll do the herring next. We asked this in the other deli. Not do you have a favourite child, but do you have a favourite thing in the deli that you like to eat?
The herring, in a simple way, with a brioche bread, little butter and little onion and tomato, and that's it. This is the main thing here. I'll keep it simple, yeah.
Roy, thank you very much indeed, and we're going to carry on eating. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming.
Hello, my name is Benny Buriga, and I'm the owner and the founder of Cafe Levinsky and the gazoz in Levinsky Market and all over the world, I believe.
Don't take this the wrong way, but Benny, you have the most beautiful hair I've seen in all of Israel in all of my time here. You have such lovely hair.
You need to drink a lot of gazoz.
Okay, that brings up the obvious question. What is gazoz?
It used to be like a traditional drinks in all of the Middle East. Like if you go to Turkey, if you go to, I don't know, less in Greek, but Turkey and all of this area, Syria, Lebanon, Israel. The basic stuff is like soda water with a little bit of sugar or color or some syrup, and that's it. You get gazoz. Way before Coca-Cola and Pepsi came to the area.
Do you keep it the old-fashioned way, or do you do things to it?
No, we did it a little bit very, very different because, it's really disappeared from the world because people had enough of sugar, and then you almost couldn't find it in Israel like gazoz. And back in the days, even when I was a kid, everyone at home used to gather sifulux. You can make a soda water at home with a small balloon of gas or something like that. And this is like the first company of SodaStream. They bought sifulux and then they called it SodaStream, and then they went all over the world, and then now they belong to PepsiCo. When I understood this is what we're going to do here, I'm coming from kitchen. I used to have a restaurant, I used to cook, I used to have a small company of jams, and then for arak, and in the end, everything came together here. So I started to ferment stuff and to grow stuff and then to mix them like a freestyle, as you can see on the table here. Each glass is a little bit different, so it's going to be like always with fermented fruits, always super probiotic, based on some spices and soda water and a lot of green leaves, whatever we can find at the market or whatever I can go out and bring. Like, I don't know, from geranium to pines, from pines to mint, from mint to kale. So whatever we find, we put in the glass.
You said earlier it was very simple, but if you look into your kitchen, it's full of bottles. It's like a mad professor's laboratory. How much time do you spend perfecting all the flavors?
I think it's come like natural. So we started like in a small, very small, a little bit of jars and a little bit of jams that I let it fermented. And then, step by step, you understand like you can do a lot of crazy stuff with fermentation and to leave stuff for a long time. And then you can go to aerobic or anaerobic fermentation. And then things getting a lot of deep flavors and colors and all of this. So basically when you come to the shop, like you can have a glass in a minute. But our bake is like a little bit like more complicated by the time of working, but not by the technique. Because it's like in my book, I have a book, Gazoz. It's the first book in the world about gazoz. It's artisan book, so it's in English. There are beautiful people over there. When you get the point, it's very easy. It's like time. Anyway, we're here, we're working, we're coming, we're open, we're closing.
When you make one of the liquids that you've got behind you, do you write everything down, or is it experimental and you've never been able to reproduce the same thing twice?
When it's glasses, we never can make the same glass. So if we have some kind of camera here, I do believe we are way behind Guinness. Way, yes, like more than 12 years. It's millions of different glasses. But if you're talking about like the spices or the stuff, so there is like some kind of set of rules that to get it, but you will have it different anyway.
I'm going to ask Mark's question. We asked the same question of the other stalls that we've been in so far. Which is your favourite?
The one that goes out.
The one that's the most popular?
Yeah, no, the one that goes out, seriously, because each cup is different. So the one you get is my favourite.
Benny, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Tel Aviv Fact File. El Al flies to Ben Gurion Airport from most major European cities, plus New York, Boston, Miami, Los Angeles, Toronto, and elsewhere. Given regional tensions at the time of recording, we suggest staying in regular contact with other international carriers regarding their flight schedules to Tel Aviv. There's an excellent, inexpensive train service from just outside arrivals at Ben Gurion, with buses and taxis also available for the 20-minute journey to Tel Aviv. There's little to no chance of rain from May to September, with July and August hot and often humid. There can be heavy downpours in the winter months, but the days can often still be warm. The currency is the Israeli shekel. $100 will buy you 283 shekels as of early June 2026. There are hotels and hostels to suit most budgets, but beware, Tel Aviv is an expensive city. Our hotel recommendations include the luxury Carlton and the new David Kempinski. Norman's is a great boutique hotel, not kosher, and for budget travellers, the Abraham Hostel is very popular. And what about eateries? Schmears for bagels, Qumran, replete with belly dancers, and the Whiskey Bar and Museum for lovers of smoked meats. And of course, vegan restaurants abound. Ooh, sugar rush.
Yes, say the bracha first. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
That's as far as your Hebrew goes, isn't it?
No, I just read it on the sign up there.
It is the appropriately named Hamotzi Lechem Bakery, and behind a wonderful, just a melange of yeast cakes is a very smiley face, but we have absolutely no idea who is the smile. What's your name? Tell us a bit about yourself.
My name is Osher. I'm the owner.
Oh, wait. We have to translate. Osher with an aleph, right?
Yes, with an aleph. It's happy, not a rich one. No money in making cakes.
Yeah, just in case you don't know, there are two words, Osher, which means happy, and Oshel, with an I in at the start, which means wealthy. Tell us a little bit about this place.
We are here for like 14 years approximately. We're making cakes and breads and making fun.
Harry is treating us to the culinary delights of the market, and before we recorded, we tried two very wonderful cakes. Can you tell us about the cakes?
It's poppy seed, Freshbug, and chocolate crunch, the babka, which is the best seller. Everybody buy the babka, but smart people buy the poppy seed. You should know that.
Why?
I think people in their head have a thing about poppy seed that it's wrong. They should try it first. It's like soda. You know soda, when you have some age that you like soda, the same thing with poppy seed. There is an age after 40 that you understand that poppy is the right cake for you.
Now we're going to do something very interesting, and it's fascinating that you said what you said, because for years and years in England, we grew up on Purim with Hamantaschen made out of poppy, and I wouldn't touch them because I hated poppy. So I haven't had poppy seed.
Someone lied to you that it's chocolate. In your head when you were a kid, you saw it and you said, it's probably chocolate, so I'm going to try it. And then it wasn't chocolate, it was poppy. So you have this anti in your head.
So I'm going to taste poppy seed cake for the first time in probably about 45 years.
I tasted poppy seed for the second time today, having not tasted it for 5 or 6 years. I went for a very lovely coffee with Jeff, whose wife Rochelle is one of our regular listeners. Hello, Rochelle.
I still prefer the chocolate. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I just want to add something about poppy seed. I think a lot of the issues with poppy seed happens from my generation and from especially Jews from abroad, not from Israel, is that they've never had fresh poppy before. They've had poppy that is probably a year old, 2 years old by the time it's packaged on the shelves, whereas the poppy that's accessible here is super fresh and doesn't have any bitterness to it whatsoever.
Now, here's an interesting discussion. What did you call poppy seed in your house, Mark?
Poppy seed.
Mon.
But yeah, I mean, in Israel we say pereg, but in our house we say man, but a mon, but it's supposedly...
You're Ashkenazi. It's from Russia and Germany. They say mon.
But in our house they said it's because that is what... And I heard this from numerous people in Manchester, in England, numerous people who said it reminds you of the manna in the wilderness.
But I have to say that you keep on eating the poppy seed even if you said you don't like it.
1, I'm a pig. 2, I thought it would be rude to put it back on the plate. But yes, I am still eating it. You mentioned sourdough.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about sourdough. Is it true that you just start sourdough from one little bit of flour and you just keep growing the same thing?
Our sourdough started like more than 20 years ago. It started with fruits that basically you make it like bacteria, you know, and then every day when you take it out, you put flour inside and you feed it.
Cake.
Yes. Oh, okay, yeah. I have to say, there is a way that I say it. When I see a shop filled with amazing sugary, floury goods, and I'm about to embarrass Mark, and I'll put the microphone a long way away from my mouth. Cake! The Jerusalem Post Podcast Travel Edition.
they would always say he has a sword in one hand and a marriage contract in the other.
Sancocho is made only with 3 ingredients, ñame, culantro, and also with chicken.
I had the hot stone massage. Either that or I left a couple of empanadas on my back.
Come for the destination and stay for the banter. The Jerusalem Post Podcast Travel Edition. Well, you may or may not be able to hear behind us the refuse truck making its way through the market at the end of the day, making sure that this neighbourhood is pristine. Well, not in terms of what the buildings look like, but in terms of the cleanliness and hygiene of the area for when the market opens tomorrow morning, which is Erev Shabbat Friday, and will be packed.
You say cleanliness, David. Cleanliness is next to godliness, and behind us is a Bet Knesset, a synagogue.
Beautifully done.
Harry, which synagogue is that? What goes on there?
Behind us is the Eliyahu Hanavi Synagogue. It was built in the 1930s by the Sephardic community here in Levinsky Market. The land was owned by Rabbi Eliyahu Haprachi Cohen. However, he did not want the synagogue to be named after him because he had a sense of humility, but they named it after him anyway. The most unique thing about the synagogue is that it's closed on Shabbat.
No.
Yes. Because the community that lives here are no longer the community that would go to a synagogue on Shabbat. They have services, the morning services, the afternoon and evening for the workers here who are traditional, but there's just not a religious community to sustain it on Shabbat. But I have heard rumors that it might be opening on Shabbat soon, so stay tuned.
From the synagogue, we walked a few yards and we came to
Gourmet Sabzi, one of 3 Persian restaurants in the neighborhood. This one was built, however, in the 1990s. And as one of my vendors here once told me, Israel is his father and Persia is his mother. He had such a strong affinity for his Iranian and Persian culture. And it's evident by you seeing at the restaurant here, they have the pre-Islamic flag of Iran, the original flag of Iran with a lion, pictures of the Shah inside, and amazing Persian food and Persian Jewish food.
We're in a Greek market. We've been to a Turkish deli. We've had Polish Romanian herring. We're now in the Iranian, well, it's not an Iranian sector, but we had the Iranian restaurant. We've just been to an Iranian spice shop. What's unique about Iranian spices?
Before that, I want to just say that the Iranian Jews came here in 2 waves. We had the Jews that came in the 1950s, and then the massive wave that came in 1979, and we just spoke to Shai, who came here as an 18-year-old in 1979. This guy is what's unique about a Persian Iranian spice guy. This is the guy. I was just talking about your restaurant, Gourmet Sabzi.
Oh, damn, yo.
Hello, you speak English?
Yes, hit me.
What do you have in your restaurant? What is very Persian about your restaurant?
Like everybody knows, the most Persian dish is gourmet sabzi. It's mix of herbs, Persian lemon and red beans. We sell it also vegan and also, of course, the original one with beef. And there is a okra dish or lentils with potatoes and Persian lemon, or of course the kubide kebab that we sell. And I don't know if everybody knows about gondi. Gondi, it's a very unique dish because gondi, it's a mix of grind chickpeas and chicken breast. And what's so unique about gondi, it's a Jewish Iranian bowl, because in Iran only the Jews of Iran ate this dish, and it's so unique because of course it comes with us like I don't know how many years. All the Jews in the world, there are Persians, and of course you can find someone, that people that are not Jews, that they know this dish and they like it very much.
What's your name?
Yoav.
Thanks very much indeed, Yoav.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Every time I go to his restaurant, he asks if there's a nice young Jewish woman for him so he can get a green card. It's joking, but is he? What is unique about Iranian spice shops? Every Iranian spice shop has 2 purposes. It serves, number 1, as a spice shop, as we discussed, and also as a pharmacy of sorts, where they're purveyors of spices, herbs, and seeds that are used in traditional Persian medicine.
Why do you do this job?
First of all, it feeds my soul. I love sharing knowledge. I love learning, and I love sharing that knowledge. And also, it's the only job I've ever done where everybody at the end of it is just really happy. Like, it's really easy to live up to the high expectations people have on food tours, So it's just a pleasure. It's just great for me to introduce the myriad of Jewish cultures that exist. I think most Jews don't know about Persian Jews. Most Jews don't know about Jews from Salonika and from Istanbul. And I just like sharing the knowledge and also like watching people's faces, like when you had that hibiscus and took that bite. It's a unique thing, and every time I get to see people taking that bite and enjoying, and it brings me a lot of joy. And I come home from my job every day happy, and I've never done that with any other job I did before.
What's the name of this spice shop?
Shy.
Easy as that. Do you just do Levinsky Market, or do you do other things around Israel?
I do Levinsky Market, Shuk Machane Yehuda, Shuk Ramla, and the Old City of Jerusalem.
And if anybody wants to join you, and I cannot recommend Harry enough, and he has not paid us yet to say that.
My website is harrysbaked.com, and you could also find me on Instagram at Harry's Baked.
Harry's Baked as in baked goods, right?
As in somebody being baked.
Fair enough.
Harry, thank you so much. I am replete, I am happy, I am very satisfied with the last few hours we spent with you, and I look forward to doing it again.
Thank you very much, guys. It was an absolute pleasure.
Mark, should we go and get drunk?
Oh, yes.
Welcome back to the Jerusalem Post podcast, travel edition. Mark!
Yes, we stopped for a small commercial break, or as we would call it, dinner with friends. Even though we were full and replete from our walking tour of Levinsky, we've decided to carry on the evening.
We didn't have any alcohol before the break, but now we did. So before we introduce our guest, Avital, who she'll tell us all about herself, do you know what beer we're drinking?
It's Gold Star. Just gave you, a classic Israeli beer. My name is Avital Levin. I'm 32 years old from Givatayim. I own a business for pub crawls and other experiences in Tel Aviv, which is what we're going to do tonight. We're going to do a pub crawl, go to 4 bars and clubs, enjoy some shots.
Like a dream business, isn't it? You own a business that allows you to go out every Thursday night, every Friday night, and other people pay you to do it.
I know. I was looking for a job where I can just drink for free and make money out of it. No kidding.
Pub crawl is a very, I would even say very British expression. I don't know how many Americans, and we've got a lot of American listeners, are familiar with that term. How do pub crawls and Tel Aviv go together?
So you're right, pub is basically a British word originally, but the phrase pub crawl caught worldwide, and then everywhere where they do bar hopping or bar tours, they call it pub crawls. So I wanted to stick to the same term, and I think people managed to understand it. Some people call and think we are a pub, but then they found out, no, they signed up to a bar hopping night.
When I first came to Israel to live here about 15 years ago, one thing I found very difficult to find where we live in Modi'in and just generally was a pub where you can go out like you were in England, sit down, just have a drink. You had to order a meal. Pubs in Israel are very different. Is that still the case here in Tel Aviv?
So what I really like about Tel Aviv is that we have many dance bars, and then you can just come, stand up, mingle, dance to a DJ's music. You don't have to even really eat, or you can also have just one drink or one shot and just enjoy the atmosphere of the place.
You've talked about food and drink. In the old days, when I was a kid, the other thing that went there was smoking. There's a big smoking culture, whether it's cigarettes or the hookah pipes in Tel Aviv or in Israel in general. How does that work? Because the pubs inside are smoke-free, right?
Yes, the pubs are smoke-free, so people need to either exit and smoke, or they have a smoking room inside some of the bars. And also about hookahs, I think that happens a lot in the bars around Jaffa. They have it going on there, and here it's more maybe people will smoke cigarettes in the area.
Kids, if you're listening at home, smoking is bad for you. Just drink heavily when you're in the pub instead.
What type of drinks, what type of culture are you trying to show to the hundreds of people who come to pub crawls with you?
I'm basically trying to make the people happy and leave Tel Aviv with a great experience and a fun experience where they made new connections with people and got to see really cool bars. Some of them sometimes have either an art gallery or a live show or things that are very unique. Even how some of the bars are designed is super special. And I also want to give them shots. At every bar they get a different shot. So I'm also trying to give them arak, for example, or 2B60, so they will also get a real taste of Israeli liquor.
Where do the people come from that come on the pub crawls? Are they young? Are they old? Are they Israeli? Are they tourists?
I think originally, before COVID, it was mainly tourists who came from hostels around Tel Aviv. But ever since COVID, many of the hostels we worked with closed, they shut down, and we had to find a way to bring a different audience. So actually now we're working a lot also with Israelis. So we have a mix of tourists and Israelis, and I would also say of all ages. You'll see for yourself tonight, because you know the younger people, for them it's another night out. For people who are older and don't go out as much, it's a good way to see Tel Aviv. So yeah, you can find all the type of people on our pub crawl.
If people are interested in this experience, how does it work? Are they paying you? Do they pay the bars? What's the process?
Basically, they pay 80 shekels to join the bar crawl, and then it guarantees them a night out to 4 bars and clubs with free VIP entries and a free shot at each place. So that's how it works. So they pay the pub crawl, but also at the bars, if they want to drink, they can buy themselves food, drinks, and all that.
On average, how long will you spend at each bar? Is this going to be 2 hours at each bar and then we crawl home at 6 in the morning?
The real meaning of pub crawl.
Yeah.
So normally we spend about 45 minutes at each bar, and at the last bar people can stay for as long as they would like. So some people leave after like another hour, some can stay until 6 a.m. as you said.
Are there licensing laws in Israel that restrict the amount of time in a city like Tel Aviv, or are the bars open 24/7?
It also depends on which kind of place it is, because electronic music nightclubs will be open even until 8 a.m. It's not a problem. But many bars, I would say, or dance bars, they go until 3 a.m., something like that. I think also before the war, it was more like a 24/7 city, also with many food places that were open 24/7. And now because there's less business, less tourism, people are in the army, so many places even don't open 7 days a week. But I hope soon it will return to how it was before.
You talked about the war. You're a very smiley, happy, amazing party, fun person. As you turned around when we sort of tapped you on your back, this huge smile and grin came along. How do you, both you and your business, cope with a war situation?
It was a bit difficult. Even now with the Iranian attack, for 40 days we couldn't work. We were supposed to have many Purim parties. It's not the most fun that it's happening, but I get it. We're used to it. We had COVID. We had October 7th. Thank God we are safe and healthy. And I hope business will return to how it was. But it's not easy for the bars and for all the tourism or events, fields, people.
Tell us a bit about the company. What's it called? Why did you set up a company doing this?
The business is called DTLV Pub Crawl. It stands for Doing Tel Aviv, although sometimes people guess it's Drink Tel Aviv or Downtown Tel Aviv. I don't mind that, it also sounds good. I came up with my brother on this name. Yeah, and basically we just wanted it to also sound like fun, Drink Tel Aviv, and also DTLV Pub Crawl, like the pub crawl.
If anybody wants to reach out, and hopefully visitors are going to come back soon, how can they find you? What's the best place for them to reach out to you?
So we have a website. The address is d-tlv.com. We also have social media, Instagram, Facebook. We also work with TripAdvisor, with Get Your Guide, with Fanzine, and many other websites where you can find us.
Avital, thank you very much. And we hope we're so blind drunk we don't see you later, but enjoy the rest of the evening with us.
Thank you so much, guys.
Cheers.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. See, they're plastic cups. They don't really make the clinky sound. This is the Jerusalem Post Podcast Travel Edition. Find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at MarkDavidPod, or mail us at markdavidpod@gmail.com.
Mark.
David.
Cheers.
L'chaim.
Nobody's going to hear the clinking amid all this noise.
Well, let's just clink because we're good people.
And now we've got glass as opposed to the plastic that we had before.
It's early in the evening. This will turn to plastic or even paper by about 3 in the morning.
So we are trying a local Pinot Noir. Your good health.
It smells a bit more Grigio than Noir. There's definitely essence of Palwyn number 4 there.
That is a reference that I don't think many people outside of the United Kingdom and the British Commonwealth will get. Kedem.
But Palwyn, the Palestinian wine company, which was one of the brands that Carmel used to export, certainly to the UK and the rest of Europe, for Pesach Kiddush wine. And it has that flavour. But it was like number 10, number 11, and then if you were really well off, you had Palwyn 4A, which was the creme de la creme of Kiddush wine.
And there were no other numbers, were there? It was just those 3.
If you got a Palwyn 7, you were doing very well. It was so rare.
So we've come into a bar called a Bavel. Where are we in relation to Tel Aviv?
We're on Mikveh Israel Street, or Israel probably as they pronounce it here. Just north of Rothschild, you have a parallel street called Yehuda HaLevi, and then cross the road and then you're in Mikveh Israel. It's mainly a sort of work and industrial area. If you know Tel Aviv well, Allenby goes all the way from here down to the beach, probably about 15-20 minutes north, do my geography, east.
Can you describe for us the people that we're with, the people who've chosen to come on this trip? And we know that we're the oldest.
Well, we were told that some of them were your age. One of them is 47, at which point our hearts sank, trying to remember 47. But we've got 2 distinct groups here. There's a lot of young people who are here on year-off schemes, on Massa schemes, and then you've got your regular going out on a Thursday night Israelis, probably not just from Tel Aviv, but from all over. Some people know each other, some people have come on their own.
So far, it's not a unified group, but this is the first place we've stopped. So we've got 2 couples at the tables next to us. One couple arm in arm, the other couple just whispering sweet nothings into each other's ears. A bit like you and I are doing right now for the podcast.
They're saying, look at the idiot with the mic and the headphones.
Yeah, they don't have mics.
David, tell me, how does the bar look?
It's very interesting you should say that. Do you remember we were just not too long ago in Budapest and we talked about the ruin bars? The ruin bars are really a bit down at heel and deliberately so. I don't want to go that far, but this has that almost industrial feel to it. It's been deliberately done. We're down below. We're in a basement, a cellar somewhere. It's a pretty big area. We've got a DJ, bar in the middle. But the decor is intentionally a little bit not fancy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but then when you look over there, underneath the exit sign, there's a separate alcove. And above the brick, there seems to be some very avant-garde art on the wall.
And if you turn around, this is a really interesting... It's an emergency exit or an exit into some other part of this underground cavern, but it's surrounded by boxes of wood, hexagonal, really weird shapes, around another entrance, and the sign of the pub there, Bavel, which of course is the Hebrew word for Babylon.
I thought it was Babel, Tower of Babel. Was it the Tower of Babylon?
And on that bombshell, we'll go to an ad break. The Jerusalem Post Podcast Travel Edition.
It's a very nice wine to pair with food, but you can also drink it just on its own, and that we will do just now.
It's such a pleasure meeting an entire crew that are so smiley, so happy, and so invested in the work that they do.
Welcome in Würzburg, and it's time to let the party begin.
From Jerusalem to just about everywhere, the Jerusalem Post Podcast Travel Edition.
Ladies, what's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Yona and I'm from Paris.
Ah, from Paris. Welcome. Yeah. What brought you on this trip?
On the program, which is called Massa. It's a destination Israel. And I'm here to discover the country and the culture.
My name is Alyssa and I'm also on the same program. We're actually roommates.
You don't have a French accent?
I don't. I am from Los Angeles, California.
Never heard of it.
Wow. Can't believe it. Honestly, not surprised.
I'm Danielle. I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Bathurst and...
Wilson.
Okay, I know Bathurst and Wilson. If you're on a program to learn about Israel, what brings you on a pub crawl? Is this part of the program or you guys decided to do it yourself?
I intern at the pub crawl.
What's your name?
I'm Simone. I'm also from Los Angeles, California. So basically, this is my sister Simone. She works for this program, but she's on a different Massah program called Aardvark Israel.
How long are you here for in Israel?
Well, I've been here since January, and my program ends at the end of May.
What's your experience been?
It's been amazing, fabulous. I've really enjoyed working for this internship, and the program's really great. And it's just like, it's been a great time.
I'm from Brazil, São Paulo. I'm actually studying here in university.
What are you studying?
I'm studying literature.
Hebrew literature?
In English.
You're studying Hebrew literature in English?
Yes, in Tel Aviv University, yeah.
Cool. Who's your favorite author?
Franz Kafka.
Are you reading Kafka in English or are you reading Kafka in Czech?
No, I'm reading in Portuguese, actually.
Oh my lord, this is getting very, very complicated. Why come on the pub crawl?
I was last-minute purchase.
I work at the Jerusalem Post office.
Who are you? What's your
An
name?
intern, Esther Davis.
Ladies, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Well, Mark.
How was your little tour talking to the peeps?
What was hysterical was I went up to one young lady from Finchley in London in the UK, and I said to her before I turned on the microphone, what are the age group? What's it like? Because I didn't want to interview anybody who might be underage, as in Americans being 21, living it up in Israel where the drinking age is 18 plus. So she said, we're all sorts of ages from 18 to 25. We are so old.
Very old. It's got beyond the point where I can say they're young enough to be my children. They're even younger.
No, it's terrible. Right, do you know what the shot is that we've got?
We have tequila.
La la la.
Tequila.
La 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 la.
That's completely the wrong tune.
Oh, sorry. La 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 la. The other one was Speedy Gonzalez.
La 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 la.
La.
Tequila. One.
This is huge. Okay.
3, 2, 1. Oh. Oh, that's nice. No one ever says that's nice when they throw back tequila.
Is that what tequila tastes like?
Obviously, because it was tequila.
I'm going to make a really weird suggestion here. That was vodka.
She said it was tequila.
I think that's vodka.
Very similar. No, it's not vodka, it's tequila. This could go on for ages. Is it tequila? Yes, no.
Okay, we are going to leave you. We'll be back in a bit to sum up our day. But I can see over there Avital's having lots of fun.
Yes, she is probably the most energetic person we've met this evening.
She makes the Energizer Bunny look like, well, Mark and me.
Certainly she's got more batteries than our recorder at the moment.
In which case we better stop here. We'll talk to you in a minute. I think you have to give a lot of credit to Israeli buses these days, with TV screens telling you exactly where you are, what the next stop is, the charging, the cleanliness here. An incredible improvement on years gone by.
More importantly, they picked us up after a pub call at this time in the morning and are getting us home without us being very ill.
Did you just say a pub call?
I tried to say crawl, but the microphone keeps moving as the bus bobbles up and down. I'm holding on for dear life.
Actually, I also have to say the driver is driving at a very nice pace, not too fast.
Yes, for us old people, we like it nice and slow.
But we're not here to talk about bus 111 from Tel Aviv to Modi'in, our hometown. Rather, what's been an incredibly splendid day.
It has. We have tasted surprisingly good food in places you've walked by possibly many times and never even knew they existed and knew their history, and I am so glad we went there.
Harry is a tremendous, tremendous guide. And then we went on to, well, your favourite imbibement.
Yes, imbibing multiple times with one of the nicest, most enthusiastic people you could meet out there in Avital.
And let's hope with increased tourism back to Israel and, of course, peace, that concomitantly, which is not easy to say at this hour with that much alcohol, Saturday night tours will also be a thing once again.
Please God, it's really nice to actually be recording in Israel and try and give people a taste of Israel. We're very lucky, we're very privileged, we get to travel around the world, but this is our home and we want people to come here and visit it.
Avital and Harry and Avital and all of the wonderful people that both of you introduced us to during the course of the day, a big, big thank you.
If you want to get in contact with us, you can contact us on Facebook Messenger. You can email us at markdavidpod@gmail.com. You can DM us on Instagram at markdavidpod. We're at Mark and David's Travels on Facebook. There are so many ways to find us on social media. Please reach out. An increasing number of people are doing so, which is giving me something to do in the evenings now, replying to people.
But we're not on TikTok.
No, we still don't have faces for TikTok. We are definitely podcast people.
Of course, at this stage, you are absolutely desperate, or chalishing, to use a word from earlier in the podcast, to know the answer to the quiz question.
And after a pub crawl, I am trying desperately to remember the quiz question. I think it had something to do with Mr. Levinsky and his publishing in Odessa. He had a Yiddish daily that he published. What was it called?
Oy vey.
No, it's a greeting you say first thing in the day in Yiddish.
Shalom Aleichem.
Good Morgen. David, it's been lovely. I could definitely do that day all over again next Thursday.
Great idea. But join us in 2 weeks' time when you'll hear yet another podcast, maybe not from Israel, but from somewhere on this wonderful blue-green planet.
Yalla Tel Aviv. Goodbye.
Shalom, shalom.